First, I want to thank you for speaking with us. Thank you so much for sitting down and talking with us.
Of course.
Why do you think this area, which is historically conservative, do you think they need a more liberal leader in this area?
I don't know that I would say a more liberal leader. I think what we need is someone who wants to meet people in the middle to actually get things done for the constituents of House District 30. Legislating from extremes doesn't benefit anyone, so it's the ability to bring people together to come up with common sense solutions that work for a majority of the people. So I don't kind of partake in that, extreme left, extreme right rhetoric. I believe that in the middle, when everyone leaves the table wishing they had gotten a little bit more than they got, I think that's when you really find success.
And your opponent, A.J. Louderback, has spoken a lot about border security extensively. What are your thoughts on the Texas border and its security? Well,
so I think we have a problem at our border, obviously. No one can deny that there's not an issue at the border. But I think, our borders are controlled by our federal government. So what I really believe should happen is that I believe that Representative Michael Cloud, John Cornyn, Ted Cruz, they need to do some actual work up in Washington, D.C. to give us legislation that helps us set a border policy. Let's do something about our asylum claims. Let's do something about the things that are actually happening at the border. And as a state representative, I believe it's my job to ensure that our local police and leadership has the resources that they need to keep the people in House District 30 safe and secure. Should someone want to come in here and do us harm, because a lot of people coming across the border, they're not coming here with ill will in mind. They're coming here to look for a better opportunity.
And border security is not one of, well, it is an issue, but it's not the only issue in Texas. What are some other issues that you think are important, especially for this district? For this district specifically, because I'm running for this district, public education and their support for public education. We have to lift the daily allotment, or the student allotment. I think we sit at like $6,460 per student. It's not enough money for us to be able to do everything we need to do in public education to support our teachers, to support our buildings, to provide opportunities for our students. So I oppose vouchers. I oppose school choice the way that Greg Abbott is laying out school choice. I know I've heard A.J. Louderback say, he supports school choice with a carve-out for rural communities, and I don't believe if you're starting legislation with a carve-out that that's the best way to go about it. I grew up in a rural community in southern West Virginia, so I know what issues are that face rural communities. I live in a rural community here in Texas, so I understand that those challenges are real, and there needs to be some consideration for rural communities. But school vouchers, there's no plan for that. There's no plan to fund it. I don't know how they're going to make that work, so I absolutely oppose vouchers. Another issue that's really important to me is wages. Texas has I think it's like the 5th largest economy in the world, yet we sit in the middle of the pack for wages in this country. Our wages are suppressed. Our young people don't want to stay in House District 30. They leave to find opportunities other places. We need to do more to make sure that we are providing a future for the young people in this community. Most of us that are here, I'm 56, so most of us that are here that are my age, we can be quite comfortable living here. It has a lot of the things we want, but we want to see our young people stay, and we want to see young families move into the area. So we need to make sure that we have industry that has good wages that's coming into this area to support that. And finally, when I think about where we sit in terms of health care, I believe Medicaid expansion would be very beneficial to this district and to Texas as a whole. And now come November, you are the underdog, I will say, because this is a conservative area. What do you want people that maybe won't accept Democratic views or understand where you're coming from? What do you want them to understand about your views or your plans if elected?
That I'm the person in your community that you run into in the grocery store. You see me at the feed store. I don't have extreme views. I think we have more in common than we don't have in common. And I think we kind of need to come together and see our commonalities and the things that we can actually achieve. Holding out for everything doesn't benefit anyone. So I hope if people have questions that they would, reach out to me. I'm happy to come to speak to anyone, anywhere, anytime, to discuss issues. I believe in the freedom of speech, so I'm not here to squash anybody's thoughts that they want to express. I believe, open dialogue is the best dialogue, and I hope that people would just be willing to give me the opportunity to have the conversation. They might find that I'm going to be their best candidate.
Thank you so much for talking to me again.
Thank you, Adarius. I appreciate it.